So Russell, here we are with our fabulous new Research School of Social Sciences building in the background.
Gosh, yeah, and it looks beautiful on such a beautiful sunny day, doesn't it? Blue glass, blue sky. So it's here on the site of the old Pauline Griffin building, which was built in the 1960s, and it was originally the home of the Student Union and then later the Student Administration. Here we've kind of got this access point between the Dennis Winston Walk, which connects this side of campus to the other side of Sullivan's Creek, and that's, the W.K. Hancock building in the heart of sciences. And then the access running this way connects Chifley Library, the original heart, the repository of all the social science and humanities material on campus, over to Coombs and the law building across the road there. And that sort of nexus between here, Coombs, Hancock, Pauline Griffin, that was, I guess, the best reason for why we put the new Research School of Social Sciences building right here in the heart of it all.
And I imagine that Pauline Griffin building, when it was the Student Union, would have had a lot of the social science students hanging out there.
Yes, hanging off the back balcony that overlooked the meadow there. It was just, and it was such a big time for, I guess, student activism and student unionism as well. The demonstrations, the war, gender rights, gender equality, land rights, Indigenous rights.
It's a brilliant location here now with the redevelopment of Canberra, isn't it? So it feels like it's really in the heart of the university.
Yeah. No, it's so convenient if you're just sort of ducking out the bottom, going to the gym or going to the cafes and restaurants in Canberra, or you need to go to the shops. People are amazed by how close everything is, particularly since we've had people moving into the building from all across campus. Everything they need is at their fingertips.
So Russell, you've been involved in this project from the outset, haven't you?
I have. It's been a long road since 2015, but we're here now and it's finished and we've moved in. Earlier we were talking about the Pauline Griffin building, which was on this site, and in comparison it would fit within this courtyard. It was tiny in comparison. It was barely 3 stories. It would be a little higher than those lamp lights there. It was what we've done in this space is something that is much, much bigger. It has a sense of presence. It has a mass on campus that the old building just didn't have. When the architects were deciding, I guess, the shape and feel of the building originally, they were looking at cubes and cylinders, rectangles, and they settled on this idea of having this sort of central hollow core that was open to the sky, that was a courtyard rather than just an atrium or a mezzanine, as a way of letting all the offices through the building have access to direct natural light.
And so what was the thinking about building such a large building?
Well, we needed it. There's lots of us.
So who's in this building?
So the Research School of Social Sciences has moved in, and we comprise the schools of demography, history, philosophy, sociology, and politics and international relations. And we're also hosting some of the students from the Centre of Arab and Islamic Studies, as well as the Centre for Social Research and Methods and the ANU Centre for European Studies.
And are there places that students can just hang out? Well, obviously in the courtyard here.
Yeah, they come sit in the courtyard. We've got these benches here which actually have a timeline on them of all the student activism on campus since 1953. So
that's
it's a nice
cool.
little touch. Last year during the exams it was packed, absolutely packed. It was just really good every day to come in and see undergraduate students just in there, headphones on, laptops open, powering away. It's good to get it.
And this space seems like a great place for a party.
Oh, it is.
Was that part of the plan?
I think we might have had a couple of Christmas parties in here towards the end of last year. Don't tell the dean.
And now, let's meet some of the academic staff who call this building their home. Well, their working home.
It's a marvellous space. We're really thrilled to be here in the new building. We had a wonderful experience and a terrific formative time in our little cottage further up the campus, but now embedded into both the research school and the college, but also the university campus more generally, provides us with a huge range of opportunities. The space here in the building is remarkable.
I really do like the shared spaces because I think that sort of reflects both the individual and the social nature of research and learning. They sometimes remind me actually of the individual study spaces in the British Library, which are often praised for similar reasons because they're quite private in some ways, but there is also this sense of being in a shared social space.
So Edith, how are the demographers finding the new building? Because you were in the Coombs building before you moved in here, weren't you?
Yeah, we were in the Coombs building for a long time, and It was a beautiful building in its day. It was getting a little bit long in the tooth, but to come to the new purpose-built Research School of Social Sciences, it's really, really fabulous. There's spaces for a whole range of different purposes. We all work very differently, so some of us need quiet, a place to read or to write or to think. Others work in teams, and there's spaces for either of those types of work.
And terrible views.
They're hard to take, aren't they? Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, Canberra has so many clear days like this, beautiful blue skies, the beautiful campus. It's really, it makes you love to come to the office.
So Nick, tell me how the philosophers are feeling about the new building, because I know they were very comfortable in the Coombs building for many decades, and it served them well with their morning and afternoon teas, and they were happy there. Are they okay now?
They are okay, Ray. I always say that human beings are both very resistant to change, but also very adaptable. And I think you see that very much in operation here. So the Coombs building was a building with a lot of history, a lot of institutions, a lot of fond memories, a lot of very significant collaborations that took place. But it had its foibles as well. It was boiling hot in summer, whereas here we are, we've got beautiful air conditioning, we're comfortable. And if you look around, you'll see that the views aren't half bad either. But above all, what we're trying to do is we're trying to transpose those old institutions into the new environment. And I think that really the success of the Coombs building was that it was a space that people liked being in. And it made it the case that the students, the faculty, the visitors wanted to actually be in the space, having conversations that are so integral to our discipline. And I'm very optimistic that we're going to get the same thing here as well. I really feel as though this is going to be a space, because of its beauty, that is going to work really well for us.
Afternoon tea?
Afternoon teas are alive and well. Afternoon teas are a quaint sounding institution, but it's actually very important to the way the School of Philosophy operates, that it provides us with a regular way of getting together and having discussions. We're not always talking about philosophy. Sometimes we're talking about just as important things like the cricket and the weather, but we often are talking about philosophy. And many papers and books even that have gone on to shape the field have started out as conversations over afternoon tea.
I think we all know how important spaces can be. They can lift our spirits, they can provide us with a comfortable working space, and they can facilitate collegiality and cooperation. Our building does all of those things, and I'm confident that it will set our researchers and our students up to continue to produce the high quality research, the world leading research for which ANU has been justly famous for over half a century.